Hello and welcome. Yet another comprehensive win, and look at Joydeep Mukherjee there. Exact typical Bengali wearing the monkey cap in Chandigarh. The signature Bengali attire, as you can call it. Today at the Eden Gardens, out of the 50,000, 25,000 are in monkey caps. Joydeep, first thoughts on the victory before I go to my friend Devashish Sen, who watched half the match, two-thirds of the match at Eden Gardens before he joined the show from the studio. Joydeep, your thoughts first.
Yeah, I think it was a comprehensive win. I think their batting will still continue. I think, this track had something in it for the bowlers, which was good to see. I love this contest between ball and bat. I love this contest between ball and bat. And I feel the T20 version is all about fours and sixes. I understand the Test cricket is more about bowling, but I want an even contest in a 50-over game, and I got to see that. It's good to see the ball seaming around in the 30th over, people nicking it, bowling with slips. So, yeah, comprehensive win, but I think somewhere I want to see Surya in this team.
Okay. Devashish, you were there at the ground. 215 was never going to be enough.
Yeah, there was a tad bit of disappointment amongst the crowd. 50,000 odd crowd means, and they were expecting a nail-biting match, but then it was a no-brainer. I mean, at the start, when you lose those early wickets, then it was a damn squib. But then eventually the Sri Lankans did a good fight back with those early wickets, with Virat, Rohit, Shubman missing out. But then I would say, Rahul, obviously there will be a lot of talks about the strike rate. 92 or 93 odd balls for a half century. But still, I would give it to him, because the need of the hour was to win the match. First, ensure that you go on to win the series, rather than playing for. But then, well, there will be talks about his strike rate. But
let's go to Shubhan on that, and I'm going to ask Joydeep straight. Who does he get Surya in place of? So that will be a direct question. Before that, Shubhan, your thoughts on the game?
I think Moriana, it was a good performance. I mean, 219 to chase, 216 to chase. It wasn't a tricky task, of course. Things were a bit nervy after losing Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, and Virat Kohli. But after that, I think the way KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya stitched that partnership, they had the game in the back. So overall, not the perfect game as Zoida said, but yes, India would be happy to take this series in their kitty now.
Joydeep, who does Surya play for? Who do you get him in for? Do you want to see him in the
I'll come to that, but just before that, just taking off from Devashish. Today is a day you don't talk about strike rate, or we could have lost this game. Today was not about strike rates. There are days it's about strike rate, and days it's not about strike rate. So today is a day, whether that plays into somebody's hand or not is different. But today we won this game because of KL Rahul. So he's taken a lot of brick bat. Today is the day to put a pat on his back and say, well done, you got us through the line. Now, whether the scorecard and the conditions worked out really well for him, that's another matter altogether. That's another discussion. But today, he was the reason India won this game as far as batting is concerned. Sri Lanka will be disappointed that they lost 5 wickets to the spinners. I can imagine the fast bowlers doing their bit here. But losing 5 wickets to Kuldeep and Aksar is unpardonable. Fast bowlers wicket, seaming around, ball bouncing, ball jagging back. The one that got Virat Kohli was almost unplayable. Player of his caliber also stood there and watched it for a while. So Sri Lanka would feel that they've let this match go by giving 5 wickets to the spinners. I feel he needs to play instead of Shreyas Iyer.
Shreyas Iyer, okay. He mentioned Kuldeep. Before I sort of talk about a little bit more on the batting, each time Kuldeep is getting an opportunity, he's trying to prove a point, which is good to see. 3 wickets in Bangladesh, 3 wickets today. As he said, not the best conditions, but still 3 more wickets for Kuldeep Yadav. Thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Means he goes on to prove that. That is the beauty of this Indian team. Means anyone who gets an opportunity, more often than not, they encash the opportunity. You see the likes of Surya Kumar Yadav, how he evolved as a batter. And
Ishan Kishan.
The good thing about this Indian team, yes, Pradipta.
Ishan
Kishan. Talk about
Ishan Kishan.
Yeah. Rightly so. So this is the beauty of this Indian team, because everyone is ready. And what is good for the Indian team is that the BCCI has shortlisted 20 odd players, keeping in mind the 50 overall World Cup. So these 20 odd players will be revolved so as to be given a chance. So that is the good part, because Um, Yajuvendra Chahal got a sore thumb. That's the reason he got dropped, and Kuldeep encashed his opportunity. You might know that I would rather want to see Washington Sundar getting an opportunity in the third match. Inconsequential match, series is done and dusted. So why not give an opportunity to Surya Kumar Yadav or Washington Sundar, who are warming the benches, even for that matter, Arshdeep Singh.
Shubhain, 12th straight win for India. Now that speaks something on home soil, right? Whatever happens, this team will go into the World Cup as one of the contenders, serious contenders. On home soil, we've been fabulous. What do you think is working? I mean, clearly, despite the experimentation, ultimately the box is getting ticked. So that's good to see. You need to win, as Joydeep says. That's the eventual thing. In T20 cricket, in ICC tournaments, we don't win. But in 50-over cricket on home soil, we do win. So our best chance for a world trophy may be this time round.
Boria, I'll dissect it properly. I mean, the kind of players we have, be it Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, I mean, the backbone of the batting unit, I feel they are more suited to the ODI format, not the T20 format. They like to anchor, they like to take the time, and once they are settled, we know Rohit Kohli, Rahul, what they can do. But I think this lot is not I won't say ready, but not ready for the modern day cricket. But in ODI format, I think they are the best version of themselves, and that is why the kind of success they are having in this particular format. In 2019 World Cup, also India were cruising through until that. New Zealand semi-final where the rain played their part and it was broken into 2 days. But I think ODI format, it is the best suited format, and of course, whenever an ICC tournament takes place, India are among the favorites. And when it comes to the home conditions, we know the kind of dominance they have, not only in this format, but across formats. So I think, yes, you are absolutely right. They are showing the dominance, and as Debashish Da said, the kind of players, the kind of bench strength they have, everyone, each and everyone of these 20 players, 22 players, they are ready to, come up and say, okay, this I belong to this place, this I deserve a spot in this team. So that's the best part about this Indian team.
Okay. Joydeep, taking off from there, what do you want to see in the third game? Do you actually want to see what Devashish said? A Surya, a Washington Sundar, somebody else get an opportunity because you won? Or do you want to be more ruthless and say, no, you know what, 3-0, we've got to win for every international match? Joydeep.
No, you could well be win 3-0 with these players. They are of great repute. I think you got to play everybody in the squad to know who your 20 are going to be for the World Cup.
Yes.
Because we don't have a lot of time left. Because it's the World Cup year, who's your off spinner? Who's your backup off spinner? Who's your leg spinner? Who's your backup leg spinner? Who's your mystery bowler? Who are your batters? You've got to have it all in place. And 15, 18, 21 days, whatever we have, we've got to make sure that that happens. I think in the T20 World Cup, we messed it up. We could not do that. We had to ultimately go back to Shami, who hadn't played a T20 game for India in the last 32 games, and then he went and played the World Cup. So somewhere we got that wrong, but it's a chance for us to get it right. And I think it's a great point Shubhain makes also that, the brand of cricket we are playing, it's very good for 50 overs. We often confuse the 50 overs and the T20 because both played in color clothing under lights with a white ball. So we club it together. They are chalk and cheese. They are really chalk and cheese. So the skill set required for T20 and 50 overs, we've got 6 batters who can do the job for us in 50 overs. We've got 1.5 batters who are doing the job for us in T20.
Very, very good point made by both of my guests, Shubhain and Joydeep. Tell me something. Eden Gardens under lights. Let's celebrate the stadium for God's sake. You were there, Joydeep's home. Shubhain has covered a hell lot of Ranji Trophy this time round. Just tell us. I mean, for God's sake, India has won, man. That stadium under lights, still one of the best in the world.
Absolutely. And what an atmosphere it was. Means 50,000 capacity crowd cheering for the Indian team, chanting India, India. That's what you want to see. But then, having said that, it was a damn sweep, as I mentioned at the start. Means obviously 215 in a one day format. Means in this era, you want more scores. People love to go out and see big scores being chased and losing by a close margin. That was not the case. But obviously, there was much bigger disappointment was that Rohit Sharma not scoring runs, Virat Kohli not scoring runs, because that is what the Kolkata crowd want. Two of the best batters in Indian team. What would have happened had Virat Kohli scored a brilliant 100 or a Rohit Sharma smashing the bowlers all parts of the park to a brilliant 80 odd? So that was what the crowd crowd was missing. But then they really enjoyed when Umran Malik was steaming in. That was the first time that they witnessed the capacity crowd at Eden Gardens witnessed Umran Malik steaming in, and he got those 2 wickets. It was sheer pace. So and a bit of Mexican wave. So there was everything today at Eden Gardens. Sangakkara ringing the ceremonial bell, then the laser show in between, the Pele documentary. Lot more things happening today at Eden Gardens.
Johnny, again, same question. Eden Gardens. Before I go to Shubham.
Yeah, today was a 260 to 670 wicket. Today was not a 370 wicket. Whenever we have played white ball cricket under lights in Eden in winter, it's jagged around. I can name you 20 instances where it's always happened. It doesn't happen after March, but till January, February, in these conditions, with the dew falling, it does move around. So we have to take into consideration that this was not a 370 wicket. Even if India batted first, they would have probably got to 270, 275, which would have been a winning total. That's where Sri Lanka in the dressing room sitting will think that we have given 5 wickets to spinners on a wicket where there's nothing for the spinners. Yeah, I think Eden Gardens is as good as it gets. Boria, you've also been around the whole world and you've seen matches everywhere. You know, we are partial to it a little bit because it's our ground, but you know, it's special.
Yeah, but Jolita and Boria, I would say the next 2 series that we are playing against New Zealand and Australia will be our real what to say acid test.
Okay, let me get to that. Before that, Shubham, your memory of Eden Gardens, and then I will actually get to that point because now this Sri Lanka series is done and dusted, right? So we've got to look forward to the New Zealand and Australia series. Australia has announced their test team yesterday. Shubham, your thoughts on Eden Gardens?
I think Boria, the Eden Gardens for cricket and Juvo Bharati Kridangan for football. I think these two are emotions, not only for us as Bengalis, but everyone as a sports fan. So I think Eden Gardens, whenever you go now, there's bucket seat, new DMX lights. So it's more revamped. It's adapting to the new technology. And since the 90s, 80s, 90s, and now to see Eden Gardens evolve with the modern technology, it's great to see. And yes, of course, Joydeep Da would know that after the pitch was relayed, fresh pitch was relayed. It is more spicier for cricket action as well. So it's great to see. As Devashish Da said, maybe it was a damn squib because of the low scoring affair, but he can share a few insights of the Bijoli grill as well. How was it?
You know, Devashish today had a burger, he said, which was not great. So he was a little disappointed. And because he had to come home. Otherwise, what he would have done, let me give you Devashish's conventional routine. He comes out of the Eden Gardens, just crosses the other side because there are these barricades during a match. He first has the Jhalmur. That's the start. Then Lodgins Mashi will give him the Lodgins. He will have that. He'll walk about 25 meters and then the Patties fellow with that tin box will stand there and Devashish will have one of that. Then he'll turn right towards Raj Bhavan, have at least 4 or 5 puchkas. Then go to Kesidash, have a couple of Rosagollas and come here. That's Devashish's conventional routine each time he goes to Eden Gardens. And if Joydeep is there, then he also gets to have the fish fry that is made inside Eden Gardens. Joydeep, your thoughts?
I wonder where he hides all this because, he has a 6 feet frame where he hides, but it just doesn't show. Just doesn't show.
Joydeep, do you believe this?
Yeah, I walked into
Okay. You know, Devashish doesn't want to reveal secrets. A bag full of secrets, as you know. Joydeep, your thoughts on the New Zealand series will be more competitive. We've seen what New Zealand did to Pakistan yesterday. 71-run win. They're a better 50 over side. India's had issues with New Zealand. Thoughts on that? Yeah, Joydeep. Thoughts on India versus New Zealand?
Especially in these sort of conditions, wherever they play, if they get conditions like this, New Zealand will really make them pay. And I remember a test match in Mohali, and I'm here. It was, India versus New Zealand. India bowled out for 90 back in the day. It must have been 98, 99 I'm talking about. Dion Nash taking 6 or 7. You give them the conditions. Okay. Yeah. India got about 500 in the second innings and bailed themselves out. That's a different matter. But the New Zealand team, if you give them conditions like it was today, they will really make you pay. They will not give wickets to spinners. They will know how to play fast bowlers, and they will put fast bowlers to you who will really count. So I think this is a series I'm really looking forward to. I think it is their best version after Test cricket. I think T20 is their weakest version of the three versions. So I feel they will be a handful. And I love the spirit. I love the fact that those superstars, everybody just gets their job done. It's like a well-oiled machine, like a good football team. Everybody gets in, zoo, 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 zoo. You guys understand football more than me, but job gets done. And that's what I like about New Zealand.
Okay. Devashish,
Yeah,
before
but
Shubham.
Joydeep, I would say, Boria, in this Indian team, there is one player who is missing dearly, and that is Ravindra Jadeja. I think that will be a big series. Hopefully, he is fit and he is fit for the New Zealand series because time is running out because we don't have much time, 15 odd matches, and then we need to play all your big players. Means Jasprit Bumrah, we all know he's out. We don't know whether he's going to be fit for the Australia series or not. So, but then Ravindra Jadeja is our match winner in his own right. So you need a fit Ravindra Jadeja to make
done
it
well for us,
into India's
with
squad.
knowing that Jadeja is not there.
Okay. Shubham, thoughts on the India-New Zealand series? How important is Jadeja, or has Akshar done well enough?
I think, Boria, I agree with Debashish that Jadeja will come into play, and in future, Jasprit Bumrah will also come into play, and that will make the job of the Indian team management even more difficult. Akshar Patel has done nothing wrong. The likes of Siraj, Umran Malik, Mohammad Shami, they haven't done anything wrong, so they will have to leave out a place for Jasprit Bumrah. Akshar Patel maybe will have to leave out a place for Ravindra Jadeja. That would be very, very harsh on either of the spin bowling all-rounder Akshar Patel or one of the pacers. So that is one for the future. But coming to the India-New Zealand series, it's going to be much more a tougher challenge for the Indian team. The likes of Devon Conway, Kane Williamson, they are in great form. And then you have that Mitchell Santner, Istodi, a great pace attack. So it's going to be a good series. And looking at the venue, I think Raipur, Indore, and Hyderabad are three venues for the ODI matches. So it's going to be a interesting matchups because you can't beat the New Zealand players with the spin tactics. They have good couple of spinners. They know how to bat in the spin conditions. So it's going to be a good affair, a tougher affair for the Indian team.
Okay. Joydeep just mentioned the India versus New Zealand match in Mohali, the 78 all-out game. He's dropped off, but let me tell you a story. Sachin Tendulkar in the second innings tells me that he was not able to understand what Chris Cairns was bowling. He was not able to figure out the grip. And Cairns was running in. Chris Cairns and Dion Nash, one of the two fellows. So they were running in and Sachin wasn't able to figure out. So he went to Rahul Dravid. I'm telling you this because it was Rahul Dravid's birthday yesterday. So he tells Rahul Dravid that, you know what, you have to see, because you are at the non-striker, just check what is the grip. And if you see that the grip is this way and it's an in-swing, you will hold the bat in your left hand. And I will see where you are holding the bat and I will play for it. Wow. If you are holding the bat in your right hand, I will know it's an outswinger and I will play for it. So they had planned it that way, and that's how India got to a 500. They executed it. And me being me, I said to Sachin, suppose he did not understand and he held the bat with both hands, what would you have done? So that is something we had a lot of fun with. But that's how Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid plotted that. So Rahul Dravid, a belated happy birthday, Mama. You mentioned the New Zealand series. Shubham mentioned the New Zealand series. New Zealand is, for some reason, not one of those teams which will come with a hype as Australia, but has troubled India big time.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously it is reflected from their team selection because Kane Williamson will be missing because he is a grafter. Means obviously he's not your go-to T20 batter in world cricket, but as far as 50 overs version is concerned, Kane Williamson is the ideal player for the Black Caps. And one more thing I would like to add about Ravindra Jadeja is if you look at the Indian bowling lineup, we don't have a number 8 bowler who can bat. Obviously, it was hard to
Akshar
see.
Is better.
Akshar is better, but then you have Shami, Umran, and Siraj. So these three fellows are not decent batters. Means let's be honest. If you look at world cricket teams like Australia or New Zealand, you need to have that number 8 bowler who can bat. Akshar Patel, yes, and that therein lies the importance of a Ravindra Jadeja, who can fill in that slot.
But when you play
Is
two,
Kuldeep Yadav your answer, Devashish? Is Kuldeep Yadav your answer in place of Yuzvendra Chahal? That does his bit of batting ability makes him a better option than Yuzvendra Chahal at the moment.
in fact, Joydeep, what Shubhan says, today Kuldeep Yadav was actually showing KL Rahul how to play that shot over point. I mean, his batting has improved. We saw him got a 50 in Bangladesh, and we saw today also he's batted decently, couple of shots there. I mean, Kuldeep Yadav, Joydeep, talk to me a little bit about Kuldeep Yadav.
Yeah.
I asked Devashish about him. It's good to see that man gaining in confidence.
I've had the good fortune of working with him and knowing him closely. I'm in touch with him. I think he's a great kid. He works on his bowling a lot. He works on his batting. He works on his fitness. I spent time with him in KKR, and I thought that, these sort of bowlers need the confidence of the captain. They'll have one bad game or two bad games. But any point in time, you go back in history and see how many bad games even the Chahal has had, or for somebody else has had, or Amit Mishra has had when they played. It's when you look after it's how many, even Lasith Malinga has had bad games, but you don't drop them. Lasith Malinga knows, even if I go for 445, no problem. I'm playing the next two, I'll get 420, 430 and make up for it. But point I'm trying to make here is that I sometimes feel that he doesn't have the confidence. He's not given the confidence that he needs to be given. And not every time he's going to come and get 3 wickets. That doesn't happen like that. But even when he doesn't, if he has a 10-48 quiet day, no problem. You got 3 wickets in the last game. You'll get again in the next couple of games. Instead of saying, oh my God, no wickets. Okay, we need some wickets from you. So it's how you treat your young bowlers. Some people are a little more fragile than the others. He comes across, after what we saw with KKR in Eden Gardens, he is a little fragile compared to somebody else. So you treat people differently. That's why 11 people, those are the best managers.
Absolutely.
Lovely point. I mean, that is absolutely point well taken and spot on point made by Joydeep, that you've got to nurture your match winners. You've got to give them the confidence to be able to come out and deliver time and again. If they have a bad day, it's a bad day. That's why it's sport. It's not real. It's real. It's unadulterated, pure action unfolding in front of your eyes. 50 overs, 300 balls, one fellow's bowling 60 balls can go wrong. Let's accept it, and it's okay to fail, for God's sake. It is okay to fail. Quick last comments from each of my guests. I'll start with Devashish. 2 up. Yes, we've spoken about experimentation. What is the team's thought process at the moment? I mean, Rohit Sharma's got runs in 1 game. Virat Kohli's got 100. Yeah, clearly, these 2 big boys need to carry on because they are the pivot. KL Rahul's got runs today. Joydeep mentioned about Shreyas Iyer. I mean, Shreyas also has contributed big. And, if you get a Surya in, what message is it sending to Shreyas? Is he now in the maybe give Surya the first go? Your thoughts. I mean, how do you see the team think tank if they make these changes? Tell these boys.
Obviously, first up means obviously Rahul Dravid is one who is not in favor of tinkering too much with the playing 11. But then, having said that, I think it's a perfect scenario to give Surya Kumar that one opportunity, because with the series being done and dusted, we're already pocketed. It's the perfect scenario to give Surya a go.
Shubhan, do you also give Shubman a go? Ishan a go in place of Shubman?
I'm expecting 3 changes for the last match. Number 1, Ishan Kishan for Shubman Gill. Number 2, Surya Kumar Yadav for Shreyas Iyer. But I think Shreyas Iyer is your permanent option in that middle order. But Surya will play in place of Shreyas Iyer. And number 3, I'm expecting a Washington Sundar in place of Akshar Patel. Although both are different type of players, but I'm expecting these 3 changes. Or maybe an Arshdeep Singh in the pace attack as well.
I feel Surya should play because he has not had the same sort of success he's had in T20 in 50 overs. So we need to help him get his mojo because we need him in the World Cup. So it's not about Surya being so good in T20 and why is he missing out, because he needs to get that sort of form in 50 over cricket as well. Skill set is different. It's a lot different this game. So for Surya to be able to feel home, give him 7-8 games. And anybody in the team will understand that we are working towards the World Cup and we need to be ready. That's what. So it's not about Gill playing or Iyer playing. So even if I was Gill and I've got 550s in 7 games, and I know I'm not sitting, I'm not dropped. I am making the team. I'm building the building. And I am taking off for a match so that somebody else, tomorrow what happens before the World Cup, I get injured, I wake up with fever. Then there's nobody who's playing. So that's the mistake we played before. Dinesh Karthik playing number 4 in the World Cup in England. Where did that come from? Again, over here, Sami going and playing the T20 World Cup, having not played the last 32 T20s for India. So the planning needs to be better. And I think that is where the team will understand that I am not dropped. Ishan Kishan is not dropped. It's just that there's a system in place and we're working towards it. You're feeling terrible after scoring 200, getting dropped, all that I understand. But if you look at the bigger picture, you feel a lot better.
Okay, I'll finish off there, but I'll also say that, look, while you talk cricket, at least as part of this show, a lot of sport is going on in India. Please check our hockey broadcasts. We've got two of our young reporters in Odisha, in Rourkela, in Rohan Chaudhary and Rahul Giri, bringing to you from the Birsa Munda Stadium all of the coverage from the Hockey World Cup. India plays Spain tomorrow in the inaugural game. And trust me, we at Rev Sports, whether it is in our website in print, whether it is in our coverage from on ground, we will bring you the best coverage from the Hockey World Cup. Number two, all of you are watching the Malaysia Open. You know Satwik and Chirag are playing tomorrow their quarterfinal. Prannoy is playing against Kodai Naraoka. So tomorrow, badminton action unfolds again. We will bring you all of that. And Shubhan is already in Delhi, bringing or getting ready for the Indian Open, which starts on the 16th. Atreo will join him there. So what I'm trying to tell you, comprehensive sports coverage here on Rev Sports. Cricket, Hockey World Cup on-ground coverage, badminton on-ground coverage. That is why subscribe to the platform. Download our app on Android. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram for the most comprehensive and holistic coverage of Indian sport from every part of the world. Thank you very much to all my guests. Joydeep, take care of yourself. 7-8, not good for Bengali health. I can see the monkey cap out. I also need to see a pullover. Shubhan trying to be the rock star.
I'm freezing.
That's why he's not got his monkey cap on in Delhi.
It's called youth.
Haircut.
It's
Shubhan,
called youth.
You've got a new haircut. Have
It's
you?
called youth. Boria,
It's called youth. Okay, you and I are old. I get that. I get that.
I am also
But I'm freezing here.
Mama, Joydeep, this man's just wearing a t-shirt, flaunting
Boria,
his youth.
two old people in you and me, and two young people.
Got it. Two young people with absolute hot blood. That's why look at that man in Delhi not wearing a monkey cap. Look at this man in Calcutta just in a t-shirt. I don't want to go beyond that. I'll finish the show here. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.